Brinkley is an incredible woman. I'm so excited that she's going to get to share with you and wrap us up. Without further ado, Brinkley. Hi everyone, my name is Brinkley. I just wanted to share with you my story. I grew up in coastal Alabama, in one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been in the world. I spent my afternoons on exploring the creeks and streams around my home. My dad let me take out the boat when I was younger than I should have been, probably. But I used to take my dog and spend the entire afternoons in the marsh and exploring the creeks. I grew to love and understand how important it was to protect areas such as coastal Alabama and the Gulf Coast. And I got involved with UNCW ECO at UNC Wilmington, which is where at Wilmington, I started learning about climate change, I started learning about clean energy, and I started getting involved in organizing. I'd never seen an environmental disaster firsthand until the BP oil spill. My dad is a pilot, and we flew over the oil spill a week after it happened. There was crude red oil, looked like blood, as far as I could see, and we were 30,000 feet above the sea level. And as I looked out and over the ocean, over the Gulf, I could smell the oil. I was nauseated. And it was truly as far as I could see. I saw dolphins that were halfway up out of the water. They're just gazing at parts of the oil cleanup there was no cleanup. And there were boats spinning around oil with their booms, and it was just swirling around. It was very haphazard and disorganized. The dolphins were halfway up out of the water looking at the Gulf on fire as there was a black plume of smoke going up above the white clouds that we were flying right next to. And as I watched the oil slowly drift towards my home in Alabama, I really felt for the first time how much the Gulf is a dumping ground and how much we need to protect it. With the Louisiana marshes disappearing rapidly, we have a lot to lose. We have an incredible ecosystem along the Gulf. So let me think. After being involved, after writing blogs and helping groups organize all across the Gulf Coast rallies to stop offshore drilling, helping them with their media spokespeople, I started learning about the tar sands as one of the things that we were working on. And I'd never been arrested for an event or for something environmental before, and it was really a difficult decision for me. One of the things that keeps me going and has always kept me going is I want to have a child one day. And I know that population growth is a terrible issue, but to make that decision not to have one, to raise one and to help them to experience the world is something that I'm not willing to give up, because I think that we can inspire children. And so I do it for, hopefully, my future children. And at the tar sands, I was thinking about that the night before, and I was thinking about back to the civil rights movement and how people were standing up and taking it to the next level to stand up against to stand up and put their bodies on the line for an issue that they cared about. And I knew that they must have been scared too. I was having trouble swallowing my breakfast and trying to make my decision, and I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to. And I got to the tar sands action. I was sitting on the ground, and these people all around me, people of all ages, people from all over the world. There were priests, there were monks. We were really part of an integrated movement of all people. And I was sitting there, and as the police started saying, issuing the warnings, I said, the first thing that popped into my head was the song that my mom used to sing to me when I was a baby. And at that moment, I realized that, our children are worth it, to take it to the next level and really stand up to what we know is wrong. And all of you in the Southeast give me hope. Coming here and the tar sands pipeline would go from Canada down to Texas on the Gulf Coast. Once again, the dumping ground. And so that's what's in it for us. Not only that, I think that some of the things about the tar sands I wanted to share with you, we talk about this bad and horrible, but I want to give you something tangible. This pipeline would be primarily an export pipeline. We would be the dumping ground all across the middle of our country would be the dumping ground, and then we wouldn't reap any benefits from it. TransCanada predicted the existing pipeline would experience 1 spill in 7 years, but the truth is there's actually been 12 spills in 1 year, and they're still using that defective steel in their pipeline for this extension, the Keystone XL. The pipeline would go over the Ogallala Aquifer, which is the drinking water for 2 million people in our country. Even if we were going to contaminate the drinking water of one person, I mean, that's enough to stand up to it, but 2 million is a lot. And the Ogallala Aquifer also, 90% of it's used for agriculture for crops in our country. Basically, and also it would just open up a market in our country for oil. The pipeline would go down and then it'd spread across probably to Louisiana and Mississippi oil refineries. So once again, that's on us. And so we are needed in the Southeast more than ever. I'm proud to stand next to all of you as we move forward and really work to protect our part of the country. So I'm proud to know all of you, and I'm excited to continue this journey together with you probably for the rest of our lives.